Hello, welcome again to another Line War beta test match from Valithor2, who has gone for this sort of location. There was no arguments of who wanted to start where. He's gone for one factory straight away. He's setting up his lines. And he is against SuperCrumpets, who is setting up his lines. He has gone for a split base. So he's got a force over here, which structures over here, which is 2 barracks and a factory. No, 3 barracks, actually. And 3 barracks over here, so he's splitting up his production into 2 sections. They both have found each other really early on in this match. I think we've watched this seed a few times before. But apparently, so Valithor's got more barracks here, but apparently Santos and SuperCrumpets are the only people who seem to like the new update. The beta test. I don't know if that was just some random comment in the Discord, but I know SuperCrumpets doesn't like the artillery blob meta that we used to have. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, SuperCrumpets, if you watch this, but either way. We have a lot more infantry engagements with these beta tests, and a lot more heavily focused eco starts, with territory gaining, I mean, which I kind of like. So what I like about the new updates is I seem to see battles engaging faster, and I see the territories being conquered a lot faster, giving you more options to decide what to do next, rather than going with an initial strategy, and whatever you come across, whoever wins the first engagement, usually ends up building a momentum that just can't be stopped. Whereas now it's all based on claim your territory as fast as you can, using your infantry, and then deciding how to go against your opponent with what the landmass actually goes with. It presents faster battles. I like that. And it seems to present more tactics on what you should do with your environment, rather than just build in stealthy areas and use the stealth to your advantage. But it seems to be more about trying to get your infantry, as we're seeing here, into the right position to attack in different locations and scout your enemy in different ways. So it's not all about the commandos when it comes to infantry. We are seeing a lot more use of general infantry. And artillery blobs don't seem to happen much because they can't build up that momentum. At least not in these more competitive matches. I'm not sure how it would be if we had 2 newer players try and play this game. But Crumpets is definitely going for grabbing his territory now. He's definitely trying to cover everything. He's not too certain on this area though, so he's keeping his units around the midish area. In the center part here, he's just trying to keep his vision up while he's bringing his units back. Over here, he has found a gap and he's going to try and get some territory now, while he's got that gap available to him. These infantry are definitely on the run right now. He's got a big force of infantry going this way, but they're probably going to have to redivert this way. Which he is trying to take some off this route here to go forward with. And let's have a look at what Valithor's doing. He's getting an airfield up and running early. I think this is the earliest airfield we've seen so far, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to correct me. And Valithor is definitely not leaving out any territory. I can't see any gaps in the territory claiming apart from here. But these guys will eventually probably get there. It might be a bit borderline, but I think they'll just sway off over there. And Valithor is also expecting air units. He's got SAM units, or he's at least thinking they'll happen later in the game. He doesn't have too much control on the left side, but he is producing units there, and he's getting them developed there, but he does seem to have a bit more control in the center. And he's going to bring his units straight through the middle here, which he doesn't know there is production here and here, so they're not. That might be a harder place for him to try and get through. How's Crumpets spotting that and dealing with it? He isn't too concerned about that right now. He's going to hide in the forest for a bit. But I think if he took these lines off and just used the units he's got there and got the production going through this area, he'd be able to push him back. claiming the territory pretty well. Both players have done that quite well. Got a few groups going down here now further, so he's going to take a lot of territory over in that corner. We're going to have a pretty high engagement here. Looks like Valithor is changing his direction, yep. And they're on haste, so they're going to run away pretty fast. Did not want to engage in this defense here. But on the eco side of things, we've got 480 for Valithor every minute. And for SuperCrumpets, we have 500. So Crumpets is on the advantage here. Mostly because I've just realised he's only gone infantry. So he's literally doing an infantry-only strategy. But he does have a nice little line here. Some units progressing through. So Valithor's main controller is through the centre, and he is taking some damage as he moves around. But at the same time, so is Crumpets, they are firing back. So here is a bit chaotic. Crumpets is being contested up here, but I'd say Crumpets has more control on the left side. And the longer Valithor leaves it in the centre, the more Crumpets will produce in this area and be able to push back against him. However, Valithor's main source to win this will be through his factory and the airfield. See who can produce the best unit to counter this infantry spam. Strikers hitting the production structures, I think, is the way he's going to go about this. So we have a ball of infantry. These guys are going to take advantage out of this, having some strayed units. Up in the north here we have Valithor, who's taken out the units that were guarding there. And SuperCrumpets probably can't see them coming in. Yes, he can. He can see that coming in. He's moving away. But it looks like he's going to switch to moving this way. Or these units are going to switch up that way. Down here it looks like Valithor's lost the control over here. He hasn't got many units left. And here he's taken on a defensive position, which is definitely on SuperCrumpets' favour in numbers and in, I guess, firepower. He's still trying to claim the land here, which is great. He's going to be able to get some extra eco for free there. Trying to sneak some units around up into the north there. But that striker's probably noticed those quite easily. Yep. Along with the infantry that's here. Something I've noticed more with this update, or future update, potentially, is I'm having to dart across the map a lot more on these matches. It's not just about trying to focus on the one battle in the middle. I'll admit there was one match that was like that. But that was due to the map. Whereas with maps like this, there's literally infantry everywhere. I'm having to focus here on the lines that are going down there. These units are going to get caught up in between things, but they're probably able to take these out. But they're a bit straying. There's a main battle going on here, which Crumpets is losing the front line of. And his units seem pretty scattered. But they do have a path set, you can sort of see that. Now Valithor has taken advantage of this area that seems to be unprotected by SuperCrumpets. He does have units there. Valithor's just going to try and send his units around and take out this territory. And I think this game is going to be the infantry trying to outpace each other. And whoever does the best with their infantry is going to have the best eco to start the game with. I say to start the game, but infantry can be powerful enough to win the match early on. I have done it even before the beta testing started for me, and I'm not even that great of a player. So strikers are taking out the infantry here, but I'm not sure the two strikers here are going to be enough. And Valithor doesn't have an energy well yet. That's something Valithor's going to have to try and invest in very soon, or they're going to run out of energy. And the strikers are going to be practically useless in that area. So Valithor thinks that they can handle this with these units here. They're going to push forward instead of trying to defend. Whereas Crumpets is trying to escape, so they are moving to the right. Because it's an orange command, they are going to try and engage in this fight here. SuperCrumpets is also trying to take over in these sections as well. They have production there. And I don't see SuperCrumpets switching into anything else. Oh yeah, there we go. We got some air units. It looks like he's trying to get a trade route up and running. We have air units potentially coming out in this game. And Crumpets is using this type of command now to keep his units sort of flat against the enemy. Which is actually going to be really successful, especially taking out this artillery so they don't end up trying to fall back in line. They are going to try and sneak around the map. These guys are pushing through. They're going to take out this guy. The strikers are coming out of this forest, and SuperCrumpets can see that. But those units aren't going to get there in time to do anything about it with the strikers in the air. Now it looks like Valithor has managed to get a factory up and running. Where is that factory? It's right there in the middle where I'm looking. And Valithor hasn't been able to take him out yet. That first frontline units were not quite enough to take him out, but I think Crumpets is going to have a hard time trying to take out the rest of the units that are there. So I think Valithor is pretty safe in that section of the map. Crumpets is trying to produce in a different location. This is to apply pressure and hopefully distract Valithor in his mind. He's bringing back his units here. He knows he can't take this area yet. The strikers are going to support this area quite heavily, but these two units are going to join together at about the same time whilst being reinforced, and this might actually be enough, especially when these move faster now. In the mountains they move slower, and that does help with stealth. And they have been pretty much detected at this point, so I'm not sure if the stealth is worth it. Now Valithor has switched up mostly into artillery, backed up by the infantry as, I guess, cannon fodder at this point, if Crumpets went into artillery, but I'm pretty sure he hates artillery with a passion, so he is going to stick with infantry. I don't think he's got a helicopter, so I guess we can't really say only infantry. We're going to say only infantry if he doesn't use it, alright? So far, we are coming up to the end of the match. We've got a few minutes left. We do have a bit of an arty sand blob here, which, if I was fighting Crumpets, is what I would do just to annoy him. Sorry. But if you've got enough infantry, you can take out these things. There you go. He realizes the stuff isn't enough, like I said, maybe, or it's just to try and take this out quicker. I don't know, but he can see them coming out of the forest area. I may have tried to go straight for that. Take out the air units as soon as possible. Up in the north section of the map, it looks like Valithor has probably seen these structures now. He has. So he knows that Crumpets has production over here. And he's got another airfield being produced to try and take that out. And SuperCrumpets is getting really fast in that location. Let's have a look. Is he on haste, or is that just rapid movement anyway? Yeah, they're not on haste, and I keep thinking they are. So they are moving in quite fast into this location, and that is allowing them to get there with less damage done. It looks like Crumpets is going to win this engagement up here. Even if these guys lose, he will produce more to take them out eventually. The SAM units are forced to fire at infantry over here, and the artillery blob has been overwhelmed by infantry. These little rifle guys are swarming the artillery, instead of it being the other way around, which could have happened in the previous version of the game. We have reached the end of the match. I'm not actually sure who won that. I'm going to say, well, yeah, to be fair, looking at it now, we're looking at SuperCrumpets, he has a lot of vision. And he was able to take out the main army of Valithor. I'm going to say Valithor lost that one. If I'm wrong, feel free to point it out. But yeah, I think only infantry worked for SuperCrumpets, and we can confirm he never used his helicopters. I am pretty sure he hasn't. So, thank you for watching. SuperCrumpets doing really well using only infantry in this game, which is something I kind of wanted to do, so he's taken that from me. There are 2 videos on screen right now. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe.